see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body full of tats.
Okay.
Are we recording now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so the funny thing is, like, sometimes whenever I make a loud noise, the automatic gain will cut me. So, like, there's one time where I literally, or several times where I sighed, and it actually cut my sigh because of the sound. Because it thought it was sustained background noise.
Like
so it
a
actually,
feedback.
yeah. So there was that one time where you said like I muted, and I didn't mute. It actually just auto gained me. So that was funny.
I'm gonna turn my camera off now. Save my
Oh,
phone.
fair point. Yep. I'm on. I've got too many screens up. I wasn't paying attention. All right, guys. So it's just me and Ricky here at the moment, but we're going to be doing a top 5 list that was suggested to us last week by Jay, aka Jan Goza, and he gave us several suggestions, but we're going to go with top 5 worst video game movie adaptations. And later on, hopefully, I will be adding in Mike's commentary in his list. Mike is sadly at work significantly later than Ricky and I, so hopefully very soon our schedules will realign, or we can get everybody in the same booth, as it were. So
now, real quick before, just for rules for this,
yes.
Like, let's say you go with, I'm gonna pick a good movie because it's not gonna be on our list, but let's say you say Sonic is your number 5. Should I go, oh well, that's funny because he's my number 2, or should I just keep myself quiet until I get to my number 2?
If you say that it's if we have something that's in a different spot on the same list, say it's on the list, but don't say where.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? So that way we don't spoil everything. I mean, not that it's crazy. Also, guys, this does include all types of video game adaptations. It just so happens that we don't really have anything in the animated sector here. So there's like 1.5 million Pokemon movies. There's several other things like Street Fighter.
We're just
like
doing
that.
live action.
Well, I'm mixing all things in because there's some CG, like straight CG movies that also count. So
you put that on. You got on your list. You have stuff that's not live action.
I did initially, but like it moved.
See,
it
I'm
bumped
only
out.
live action.
But see, the only reason it's not is because it got bumped out by worse things.
Yeah.
So like,
there's enough to choose from. Yeah. I was surprised by how big that list was. He pulled down a Wikipedia page on it, and it was freaking. I was surprised there was that many live action video game movies. Some of them I never even knew.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking all the way back to '93 with the original Mario Brothers movie. So I mean, like,
yeah, man,
it's been around a minute.
Are we doing honorable mentions up front or at the tail end?
We can do either way. So, like, if say we'll call it a number 6. So, in my case, my dishonorable mention, which would be my number 6, so didn't quite make the list, as it were, is Hitman, the first one, because they did another one later that was Agent 46 or whatever, and
47.
47. Sorry, see, that's how bad it was. I forgot the number wrong.
I just know it from the game.
Oh yeah, exactly. So,
but ironically, Hitman is on my list too.
Oh, that's funny. All right, so the reason I put it at dishonorable mentions is because technically I owned that movie, but I never saw it. I fell asleep like 20 minutes into it and slept through the entire movie. For me, it was, even though I liked the Hitman stuff and I was really excited about that movie, because who was it starring?
Timothy Olyphant.
Yeah, Timothy Olyphant. And I was like, I like that dude. I fell asleep through that whole damn movie, and it was so boring, I never went back to watch it. Now, it doesn't mean it is a boring movie, but at least in the time frame that I tried to watch that, I never accomplished it, and I never bothered to go back. So that's
I own it, and I've watched it, and you're still not wrong.
Yeah. Is it that boring?
It really is, and it's just not. I don't. The story was kind of all over the place. The pacing felt weird. Like, it just wasn't great.
Okay, so at least there's your review of it, so it's somewhere in your list. All right, so what do you got for a dishonorable mention?
I had to put it on there because it's the granddaddy of them all, but it's Mario. I'm only putting it down as an honorable mention because it's I can give it a lot of passes because of nostalgia. We talked about it last week. Yeah. I think it was. We mentioned it a little bit talking to each other, and I don't know if it made the show or not. But it did. It makes a lot. It gets a lot of passes, a lot more forgiveness. Almost 40 years later, I'm a lot more forgiving of it. Or 30 years later.
No, next year will be 40 years.
No. Next year makes 30 because it was 93.
Me and math, it is what it is.
Yeah, me too. I did the same thing, man. Yeah. But 30 years and
you think we'll get a 30th anniversary 4K? You think we'll get a 30th anniversary 4K Blu-ray release?
I haven't upgraded to 4K yet on my stuff, but if it has a Blu-ray in there, I'll probably buy it just so I can have it because it's not. It's bad, but it's not shit. So
I mean, do you think they would bother? Like, I guess they would probably do a 30th anniversary release, depending on who owns the rights
after
to it.
seeing that list of movies that they put millions of dollars behind, they'll bother to do just about anything if they think somebody will buy that motherfucker. So,
That's true. That's true.
I'm thinking they probably would do something.
I just want all the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah,
like
I want all
features.
that. Bob Hoskins shooting the shit with John Leguizamo and stuff. Because I just think those two were probably hilarious in the same room at the same time.
Yeah,
so.
But what's really funny is, of course, you get Bob Hoskins doing his best New York Italian accent,
Yes.
but not really. And then you got you have a British dude pretending to be an Italian dude from Brooklyn, and then you have a sort of Hispanic dude also playing in
Not sorta. John Leguizamo's Hispanic.
I know. I'm just saying, like, sort of, because like he almost never really plays Hispanic directly.
I want to say he's Cuban.
I think it is Cuban. I think
Cuban
so.
or Puerto Rican, one of the two. And he grew up in
that
New
makes
York,
sense. Probably. Yeah. But it is funny that like they've really just ditched that immediately. The accents don't even matter. It's not like they're going anywhere. Now the upcoming Mario movie, being voiced by Chris Pratt, should be interesting.
Yeah, but it's animated. See? So
it'll look like it'll look like the Mario we know. I'm
hoping it goes like the Mario show, like the cartoon. I want those kind of graphics on it. I don't want it to 3D. I don't want them to do 3D. Like they did with they're gonna do like they did with Sonic, and I don't think I'm gonna like it as much because I like the idea of a 2D Mario.
Well, look at it this way. Like, I mean, have you played the newer Mario 3D games? Like on the Switch or the Wii U?
Yeah, like my kids have them all.
Yeah, I mean, like those graphics are fine. Just don't make it look real. Just make it look like that. And I don't want them interacting with real-looking humans. I want it to all be the cartoon.
Yes.
Just keep it all that and keep it fine.
I want Koopa to be Koopa. I want the egg spitter guy from Mario 2. I want all that.
No, you don't get Birdo. Fuck Birdo. Birdo, the weirdest fucking character.
No, it wasn't. And then
go into the
Ratsy or whatever his name was.
Go into the history of Birdo, like as a character, and it gets nuts. Just it is really strange.
It's because it wasn't really a Mario game. They just made it a Mario game to have something to put out.
Well, yeah, it wasn't actually a Mario game. It was Doki Doki Panic.
Yeah, it was like Kid Icarus 2 or some bullshit.
No, it was called Doki Doki Panic was the name of the game.
Yeah, Dookie Panic.
And then they just covered it over with Mario stuff.
Mario across the top. But hey, I'm not even hating on it because I still love to play that game. I will be the princess all day long on that. People clown all they want to, but that bitch could float. So I was down for that.
Yeah, and I'm glad they kept that ability throughout later games. I thought that was crazy. Yeah. And Luigi could jump higher technically, or run faster.
Yeah, he ran faster, so it gave him a farther jump.
Yeah,
Toad was supposed to be stronger, I think. Like he could pick up stuff that was heavier or some shit like that.
Just depends, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. It wasn't Mario was just kind of meh.
Mario was balanced. It was just the normal balance and everything else. I usually played as Luigi.
I hated Luigi on the ice levels because that running.
Yeah, you go too fast and you slide off.
Pain in the ass. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, but we are way off topic.
But yeah, so that's my not really because that was my honorable mention was Mario.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
Leading right into that, my number 5 is Mario.
Nice.
So it's like it just rolled right into it. It's like, so I guess we don't have to talk about that much more. So that just goes straight into your number 5.
And my number 5 was Hitman.
Okay, so we're going round.
We're just knocking this shit down, dude. On to number 4.
Easy top 5. Let's go. We're good at this. After this, God knows. Man. Now it's just the Wild West after this.
Now it's going to be the Wild fucking West. So.
Okay. So now that we've talked our way through that. Now, speaking of which, just real quick, have you seen the updated Hitman movie or no?
No, I only saw the first one.
Okay, me neither.
The first one was so bad I didn't even bother with the second one.
Yeah, I think I heard slightly better things about Agent 47, but I still don't care at that point. It's like, how do you screw up a movie that is that real? Like, I mean, like it's close enough to a Hitman / spy type ish movie. How do you screw it up that bad? So
yeah, and I want to say I even own it because I think I got a Blu-ray box set, like the $5 thing on like Black Friday, and they were both in the same box, and I've never bothered watching it.
Oh damn, that's pretty bad. All right, so my number 4, and mind you, these lists doesn't necessarily mean we dislike the movie because we like Mario, obviously, but in this case, my number 4 is the Doom movie. Which
shut the hell up because that's mine too. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut that out. Number 4 too. I swear you did not see my list.
So that's easy. No, we seriously have not seen each other's lists. So my number 4 is Doom, and it's only because it is like it's a very super serious like sci-fi movie at first, and then once it takes the switch and the Rock's character,
it was all wubba dub dub
yeah,
rock on it. So.
and then Carl Urban's character takes the super serum or whatever. It just turns into a completely different movie and just goes balls to the wall to action and goes really strange. And like the fact that the two leads are brother and sister, right? But then like sometimes there's like romantic tension. It's like this is weird. But like, and the movie is very blue, like through most of it, like because they're all indoors and stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a good movie, but it can be fun at times.
It's terrible to think that this was a mass-produced in theaters movie, and
Big
it's
deal.
as bad as Sci-Fi Channel movies, like graphics wise. It's rough, dude.
Well,
it's
no, the
rough.
graphics are pretty decent because remember when they go. Well, no, remember when he picks up the chainsaw and like starts gutting that like demon dog. Like that actually looks pretty good considering.
One or two things out to make it look good is still a sci-fi movie because every once in a while Sci-Fi puts out at least one or two little frames that look nice.
Well, like the makeups and stuff were good. Like it was just they didn't rely a lot on making it look like anything from Doom proper. Like it's like because if they had done a movie that looked at least based on the graphics and stuff like that, like Doom, like you got the cyber demons and you got stuff like that, it would have been another story. But this was more like Dead Space than it was Doom. Yeah, just called Doom. With the concept.
Like I think they should have gone more practical than CG, and it probably would have been better.
I'm sure there was plenty in there, but
with the monsters and stuff, like kick it old school style, I think that would have been a lot better.
Also, I think this is where I started getting rocked out. Like I'm just like I'm getting a little tired of Rock the Dwayne Johnson.
The Dwayne, that's not wrong.
No, it's not wrong. Like at this point, he'd already been in I don't even know like 25 movies, and it was still early
in like a 2-year period.
Yeah, in his acting career, and like now he is this huge megastar thing.
He still can't act his way out of a wet sack. I don't care what anybody says.
I mean, he's got some decent acting roles, but not good.
Nope. He gets good movies, and the only time he's good in a movie is if he gets to play himself in the movie. He has to play anybody but himself in a movie. Trash.
As long as he's not with Kevin Hart, it's already an improvement.
Pain and Gain, he was good in that.
Okay, yes, I was gonna say, but that's
gym rat. So
yeah, so he's a fucking meathead gym rat criminal.
Yeah,
and like that's the only time he's been super. Oh well, okay, he's great in Maui, or he's great as Maui.
I'm gonna tell you, nah, fuck that movie.
Dude, Moana's good. And it's not a video game movie, so it's not on this list.
Fuck that movie. But the one I always loved him in that I thought like it really went under the radar on everybody was the remake of Walking Tall.
Oh yeah, no, that was a good one. Wait, what was the Rundown?
The Rundown with him and Sean William Scott.
That was good. That was good. That's a good movie, and it's also got
the monkey humping his face. That shit cracked me up, dude.
See, and that was that era too. That was that same era.
All in that same because he did like 50 movies in like a 4 or 5 year frame.
And like yeah, seriously, he did like 20 some odd movies, no joke, in like 4 years. And
and then he kind of spread it out, and then he started getting the big, top tier movies, and then he was only doing 2 or 3.
I think he was fantastic in the Scorpion King 1.
Ugh. The Scorpion King was
I'm sorry, that's Michael Clark Duncan's worst movie.
That movie. No, it wasn't. Daredevil was Michael Clark Duncan's
No, he was way better at playing Kingpin than he was playing that. Well, I forgot his name of the character in that movie.
Yeah,
because that
or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, that movie was terrible. The Scorpion King, I loved it only because of the Godsmack soundtrack. But like, other than that, no. But we're not here to talk about bad rock movies because we could do that as a top 20 list.
Yeah, we could do that by itself. All right, so we both tied on number 4. So what's your number 3?
Okay, number 3. Now, you specifically said this franchise would be in general.
Shut the fuck up, because that's my number 3.
Okay, so for me, I specifically chose Resident Evil Afterlife as the worst one.
All of them is mine.
Okay, so I haven't seen all of them because I never saw the final 2, I think, but I've seen Afterlife.
I haven't seen them. I haven't seen the rest of them. They just got progressively worse.
Yes, but for me, like at least the first 2 were somewhat on point towards the game, even if they mix things up, and the third one was weird but not that bad, but the fourth one, which is Afterlife, is just fucking garbage. Like that's
the one with the ravens and shit in it.
Well, they've done it. That was that Afterlife, or was that Extinction. I think that was Extinction, where they were all overhead and she burned them all with the.
Yeah, that was like the last one I saw.
That was Extinction. So Afterlife was after that. So Afterlife, I believe, opens with her clones. Like she's now controlling all of her clones.
God, yes,
and it's so fucking bad. So that one was really bad, and I believe it ended on the chick with the like weird robotic thing with the big red jewel in her chest came up. It just got dumber and dumber and dumber as it went on. I agree with that, but like to me, out of all the ones I saw, that was the worst. Like the other ones don't make the list because that one is so bad.
No,
but for you, throwing the whole franchise under the bus,
it's symptomatic of the same thing. So, it was trash. The first one was barely an acceptable movie, barely.
Yeah.
So and everything after that, like the fact that it kept going, and what do they call that when it's you know, you get your brother a job with you, or your kid a job, but
I don't know a specific term for it.
You know what I'm talking about? Like you're not supposed to do that because you're related to him.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, because this director was married to Milla Jovovich.
And look, everybody goes on about Milla Jovovich. She was awesome in Fifth Element.
Yeah,
I can't.
She's been good in other roles, but this like because it just got lazy over time. It's the same thing with the God, I'm blanking. Helena Bonham Carter and
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton, you know, they're married.
Don't even get me started on Tim Burton. I'll get into a rant about how
we could totally do a Tim Burton thing.
We can. I can't stand a Tim Burton. 89 Batman Returns, and then one or two here or there. And I'm gonna say it right now in this recording.
Yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas is one of the worst movies ever recorded. It's super fucking overrated, and all you bitches out there that think you're super goth because you like it, get the fuck over it. Go get a tan and put some colored clothes on because you're not gothic just because you like Tim Burton. Fuck that shit. Garbage.
I'm going to slightly disagree with you, but let's move on.
You feel free. I know you like it, and my wife loves it.
Well, no. I didn't say I like it. I'm just going to slightly disagree with your assessment.
That movie is super overrated. It's
super overrated.
What he did. The movie was dumb. The songs were dumb. It was just
I don't know. This Is Halloween is actually pretty good.
No.
Yeah,
dumb.
It's catchy.
It was dumb.
It's a musical. If it wasn't a musical, it would be better in my opinion. Okay.
So yeah, don't even get me started. Tim Burton
we're pretty much dead on
McFarlane.
So this is funny.
We're pretty close to each other.
Now I think we're gonna see some differences from here on out, but we'll see. I think our number one's because spoiler alert, he didn't tell me what they are, but he said that he has two number ones. So my number two, and I doubt, in just by the way you said it, you have never seen this, but unfortunately I have, and that was Street Fighter: Legend of Chun-Li.
No, I haven't seen that one. I didn't even realize they had made a sequel to the Street Fighter movie.
Oh, it's not. It's not a sequel to that movie. It's just another movie in the franchise. And it stars Kristen Kruk from Smallville as Chun-Li.
So it's not even an Oriental chick playing Chun-Li.
Well, she's half Asian, but she just doesn't look it. She doesn't. But the thing is like the acting, absolutely horrible. The directing, absolutely horrible. And then like later on, she's supposed to do, you know, that energy blast that Chun-Li does. Like it's her own,
the big blue ball.
Yeah, that thing. So they try to do that in this movie, but she like is like swinging her arms around like really fucking stupidly. Like it looks like she's trying to do an airbender move, and then like the effects are just garbage. And by the time the actual energy ball forms, it literally just looks like a fucking thing. Like there's better effects on my crappy editing software than what they had for this movie. Everything about it was just garbage. So and like I didn't technically watch the whole thing, but I've seen most of it. Like, it's just the check the fuck out and not even pay attention to this. It's like, I'm like, okay, I like Chun-Li and I like Kristen Kruk. This can't be that bad. I was proven wrong. And
challenge accepted.
It's just that fucking bad. Don't watch it. But if you want to, look up that clip on YouTube. I might link it down below if I can find it. Because it's just that fucking bad. Like, except for the original Street Fighter movie, which I was not going to put on this list. Despite how cheesy it is, I was not going to put it on this list because it's actually not bad. It's like, it's just weird. It's like, it's a weird movie, but it's not even a bad adaptation. So, because like most of the characters have the same motivation that they do in the game. It's just the adaptation comes in how do you adapt some of those characters to being live action. Like Blanca, what they did with Blanca was so fucking weird, but they made it work. And then Raul Julia playing Bison was weird, but it worked, you know. Did you disappear on me, Ricky?
No, I'm here.
Okay. You just went silent, which was weird.
Yeah. I was just listening to you talk.
Yep. Okay. That's the end of that.
All right.
For me.
All right. So then my number 2.
Yep.
Street Fighter. That's why I wasn't saying nothing. It's
So the
my
original
number 2.
Street Fighter.
Yep.
That's fucking
so
weird.
I'm giving us partial credit because we both picked the Street Fighter movie, and that's why I didn't say nothing while I let you run your mouth about that shit ass fucking movie, because it is my number 2. That movie is trash.
No, it's not. It's good.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is trash. The only good thing about that movie is Raul Julia. Everything else, trash. Blanca, stupid. Like fucking Chun-Li, stupid. Honda,
that Chun-Li in that movie is better than Kristen Crooks.
I don't care if she's that's comparing one dog turd to another and just picking one that's more shinier. I don't care. It's trash.
It's the bigger
She's
turd.
a news reporter, but she was actually a CIA deep operative and this, that, and you're sitting there, and I was listening to you talk about they kept really good to the stories. No, they did. Dude, Chun-Li is from China.
I said their motivations.
She's not Chinese. Their motivations were not the same. She was an undercover CIA agent.
So that's her.
Hers is totally different. Honda, he was her fucking cameraman. Ken and Ryu, they were the closest to it, and even those were barely in there.
Guile was close.
Guile was closest. Guile and Bison were the closest to their actual.
I don't think that Guile
stories.
should have been the focus of the movie. Personally, I don't think he should have been the main
first of all,
star.
it's Van Damme. It wasn't going to be anybody else but Van Damme be the focus of that movie. He wouldn't allow that shit.
Yeah, that's why they had no other big names in that movie that I can even recall.
Raul Julia was a bigger name than him.
But like, I mean,
just not for action.
They at least got through like a good portion of the cast in one way, shape, or form. Hell, I think they had Vega. They had Vega in there, didn't they?
They had Sagat in there. So I don't remember Vega being. I think Vega was in there.
I think Vega was a cage fighter.
Fight.
Yeah,
but you don't see him but that one time.
Mm-hmm.
And Ken's story, that's fucking Johnny Cage's story. They just slapped Ken's skin over the top.
Yeah, no, that part's true.
Trash. It was no good. Sagat was boring. They made him this middle-aged guru.
It came out after Mortal Kombat, right?
Probably right around the same time. I don't know which one came out first.
I can tell you right now. Give me a second. Mortal Kombat was 95. Where is it?
Street Fighter was 93 or 94.
Oh, it actually came out the year before.
Yeah.
So Street Fighter came out before Mortal Kombat.
Yep. But Mortal Kombat, the game, was already out, and Johnny Cage being a movie star going into a fighting thing, blah blah blah. That's Ken. That was his story. So when you were sitting there saying they followed their motivations, like no, I was like I don't know. That's why I kept quiet, because I was like I don't know what fucking movie he was watching. So they did not. Like Guile is closest, and that's strictly because he's a military hammer. They just put him in there to do military shit. You can't really fuck up that motivation.
Yeah.
Bison's, he just wanted to run the fucking world. You can't really fuck up that motivation. Everybody else's fucking dumb. Dalsim was a bad guy in the fucking game, and they made him this poor beat-on scientist who got turned into this emaciated Blanca, who, by the way, was Brazilian, not Indian.
Wait,
so they turned Dalsim into Blanca.
Did they?
Oh no. They used Dalsum to make Blanca out of Guile's friend.
I was gonna say that was not how that went.
Movie. Yeah, hold on, my bad. So Dalsum was this badass yogi in the game.
Maybe we all forgot how this movie really went.
No, because as I'm talking, I'm remembering.
Maybe we need to go watch this movie. Have a movie night.
Dalsum was a badass yogi in the game.
Yeah.
Who did fire breathing and stuff and could stretch and contort his body.
He was also
in the movie, he was just a
bioscientist. He was also a bioscientist.
And that's all he is in the movie. He's just a nerdy scientist. And then Blanca looked like donkey shit. He was an American soldier who was just painted green with troll hair. Every time I see him, I picture the little troll toys.
He's the Hulk.
It was trash.
He's old school Hulk. Just paint him green.
He's supposed
tear his pants.
He's supposed to be a Brazilian, like he did capoeira in the game. Like no way. It was trash. That movie was trash. Yeah, your memory of that movie is trash. So
well, yours isn't that much better. So let's be honest.
Hey, the only thing I got wrong was who became Blanca. That was it, and it took me
all
2
wrong.
seconds to realize where I was
all terrible.
No, you
go
back.
Because as soon as you said it, I'm like, Dalsim wasn't Blanca. What are you talking about?
Well, that's because I forget he was the scientist who made Blanca, so I mixed that up. But that was it.
See, the only fair thing here,
you have to go back and fucking watch that shit.
Well, see,
I'm not watching it again.
Well, see, here's the thing. The only fair thing between our arguments is you haven't seen the Chun-Li movie to know that it's significantly worse. So
it can't be.
No, it is.
Can't be
it's significantly worse.
It might look worse.
No.
But it can't
Everything
be
about
worse
it is
than
worse. The acting
they
is worse.
literally
They don't
fucked
even
up
keep the other
every
characters.
character's story in this game.
Dude, they don't
except in
even
this
put the
movie.
other characters in the Chun-Li movie.
Good. Then that
No,
means they only
it's
fucked
like-
up one.
it's
This
like-
movie, they fucked up 10 of them. So it wins by strength of numbers.
Nah,
Yep. It was
Disagree.
trash.
disagree.
Yeah, but I'm keeping notes. So we got tied on Doom. I gave us a tied-ish.
We got tied on Resident Evil, regardless. Yeah.
I gave partial credit for this because we both picked the Street Fighter.
And
so
then
now
there's also Super Mario Brothers. We're back and forth on that. So
yeah, that and Hitman, but I didn't do that. Because
so we got Hitman. We got Hitman back and forth there. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
what's your number one?
Okay, so my number one worst one is Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
That's one of mine.
Of course it is. It's so goddamn bad. It is so fucking bad. Okay.
It's definitely one of mine.
So the thing, okay. So the original Mortal Kombat movie, while close-ish to the game characters and stuff like that, is still doing its own thing, but it's still close. Mortal Kombat Annihilation just said, "Well, fuck all that." And the main reason that I will say ultimately this is significantly worse is when it finally got down to the animalities.
Reptile.
No, I wouldn't even say that. When it got to the animalities and Liu Kang turned into not a Chinese dragon, but something significantly closer to like a European or English style dragon, and then
he turned into Falcor.
Yeah, kind of. But then no, he turned into a green or blackish fucking ugly ass dragon with fucking wings. But then the thing is that he fought a weird multi-headed Hydra thing that Shao Kahn turned into.
Which he doesn't have in the game.
Which he doesn't even have. And it was just, everything about it was so fucking bad. Like, the CG was somehow worse than the first movie. The acting, way worse. They swapped out characters. They swapped out character design. Now,
they swapped out Raiden. Why would you not get Chris?
They swapped out Sonya.
Yeah.
And then they killed Johnny Cage.
The lady that played her, Bridget, whatever, was
Bridget
like a
Wilson,
giant pain in the dick. Yeah, so they didn't want to bring her back.
But she's still hot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that the second chick wasn't, but like everything about it was fucking worse. It was just like that movie was so goddamn bad. Like even this, like what was it? They changed.
They even fucked up the soundtrack. Like, how do you do that? Like, they gave you the perfect fucking soundtrack, and they wanted a remix of the Mortal Kombat, and it was trash.
And they had that one chick who was in every fucking B-lit or every B movie that played Sindel.
Sindel was trash.
She was trash. But at least they kept. Was it Melina was the same, or was it Katana? Which one was it?
Katana was the same.
So Katana was the same, but then Melina, who's supposed to be her, well, I guess was supposed to be her sister. They've really kind of fucked that up. But you know, everything about it was stupid. Now the new Mortal Kombat movie from what was it, last year?
I actually enjoyed that movie.
I enjoyed that movie, but it's still not. It can't be worse than Annihilation. Nothing will ever be that bad.
The first 20 minutes of that movie was the best Mortal Kombat movie made.
First 10 minutes.
Was it only 10 minutes?
10
Whatever.
minutes. The actual Scorpion and Sub-Zero story was 10 minutes or so. Now, if we had just gotten, if we only got that story and following them and their shit, they could have built out, if they had done the right thing, they could have built this out as character movies like they tried to do once upon a time, and they could have done the whole Scorpion and Sub-Zero storyline without having to involve everyone else. And they could have worked towards an actual Mortal Kombat tournament.
Yeah.
Following each character.
It's sad to say 3 major motion picture releases, and the best Mortal Kombat was web series, that Mortal Kombat Legacy.
I saw a lot of it, but I never watched the whole thing.
Oh, I have all of it. It was a box set that I bought, had all of it in there.
Oh, I had good. TV rips.
Yeah.
So I was watching it on disc.
It's really good, and if they'd made that into a movie or just use those same actors.
Well, I mean, the guy who made the new one was the guy who did the web series, or at least one of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why that one was better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Annihilation, total trash.
Okay, so that's one of your number ones.
Yep.
What's the other number one?
I'm gonna give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count.
Oh, I don't.
We've had a conversation about this movie.
Have we?
Yep. Not today, but we've talked about it.
Oh, shit. I don't know.
Prince of Persia.
Oh, okay. See, I can't put that on my list because I haven't seen it, so I can't put it on my list.
Dude, it could have just been on your list as soon as you heard Prince of Persia and they put Jake Gyllenhaal as the main guy. Like, as soon as you heard that just puts it on the list.
I guess that's true.
These games,
we mentioned it last week. That's why.
Yeah, like just in passing, we just kind of talked about it for a
this
second.
conversation, roughly, we mentioned it. Yeah.
It is so fucking bad. Like, I love those games. Like, even the reboot that they did for the PS4 when it first came out was a great game. And the first three, man, on PS3, I probably played them till I burnt the fucking discs and stuff, man. I loved those games.
Yeah.
And it was just such a mess.
See, I heard I heard something very similar about the Assassin's Creed movie, that like, because one, it went a bit outside of canon, wasn't really doing things. It just like was capturing stuff from the games without really following the games.
Well, it wasn't supposed to. It wasn't following that timeline.
It should have.
See, I'm more forgiving of that because people act like you can only have Assassin's Creed that follows that Ezio bloodline and stuff like that.
Well,
and
if you're starting
later
there,
ones,
you know.
but more of the later ones don't have anything to do with that.
No, that's true.
And they even had the offshoots where they had the Chinese and the Russian and the other one that like the little mini games or whatever that had their little own
they had the whole pirate one, right?
Oh, they've had two. They had Rogue and Black Flag.
Yeah, but then
I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about right
what was
after
the other one, the Native American one that was in the
3.
That was 3.
That was 3. That was still part of the same timeline because you were following Desmond. Desmond Miles was the modern character that you are, and all those were his ancestors.
I got you.
But
I've never played them because I don't have PlayStation.
Yeah, they're amazing. I own every Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
I have all the novelizations of the games. I even have some of the novels that have nothing to do with the games. Like, I love the thought of, like, history was one of my big things in school. So I love the alternate history stuff. I like when people touch on history and then just kind of do something just side of it. Like, that's like Inglourious Bastards. You know, it's an alternate history. There's a lot of historical fact, but then they killed Hitler at the end. So it's a big change from reality. You know what I mean?
I like that. I like that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, I like when they do stuff like that, when they keep
fictionalize history. Yeah.
Yeah, like they did in which Assassin's Creed was it? It was Assassin's Creed Syndicate, I believe, where it was set in like London in like the 1800s or whatever.
And
they had Jack the Ripper was part of it. Like that was a whole side quest was Jack the Ripper, and they played that into the Assassin's Creed storyline. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, because that was Victorian London, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so it was modern-esque.
I know a lot of people hated. The thing I hated most about it was the big pincher arm thing to be the Animus. I thought that was a little too much. Even know. It's like in the games, you literally on a bed and they plug this thing into you and you're
it's like the Matrix. You're not moving around and stuff. It's
they had this big arm that came out of the wall. And
it was more like it was like an AR thing. It was an AR like VR.
Interact with the stuff around them and all that. Yeah, it was
that's a cool idea though. Like, I mean, like, because we have things like that. Yeah. So like, okay, imagine this. Okay, so
like haptic gloves and stuff like that. I get all that.
Well, you've seen the
they have the walking pads now.
Yeah, I was going to say that the multi-directional walking pad things where you're strapped in so you can't go anywhere, but the thing underneath you moves in any direction so you can turn and run and do things like that. And like, that's some cool shit. Don't get me wrong. It's pretty
cool, but it's a change from the story that
I know.
It was important that they couldn't move around a lot while they were in the Animus, because that plays into the story of people attacking them, and the people around them have to keep them alive because he can't defend himself.
Yeah.
But in this, he went nutso. Like, it always reminded me of, do you remember the old Batman the Animated Series Batwing from when we were kids that had that big gray claw thing underneath it?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looks like.
For catching criminals when it's flying by.
Yeah. That's exactly what it looks like.
No, I've seen it.
Gray arm. It was too much. That's my biggest negative to that. Other than that, I love that movie.
See,
I don't know why so many people hate on it.
What it reminded me of, because I've seen the thing you're talking about. So, I saw the previews for the movie. I never watched it, but it reminded me of the entire setup for. Oh my God! I just had it in my brain, and now just because I started thinking about something else, and I just lost it. From Portal.
Never played it.
God damn it! Why am I drawing a fucking GLaDOS? So GLaDOS literally is like that. A whole big compressed arm thing that comes down is just holding the eye thing on the other end, so, and it comes down from the ceiling, got some cords hanging from it, stuff like that. So Portal, they should never make a Portal game, but there's a lot of deep lore and a lot of cool shit surrounding everything that happened with Aperture Science and the way they ended the world and how that came about. And they actually put out a game. It's an unrelated conversation here, but they put out a short game because they are working on Portal 3, and I forget exactly what it's called. I think it's called Desk Job, I think is what it's called. So it
Fucking idiots play anything.
no, here's the thing. So you actually get a job at Aperture
I
Science.
have a fucking job. I don't want to pretend to have one
Shut
in
up.
that game.
So like no. Because Aperture Science, if you've never played it, so they make weaponry and all kinds of crazy scientific shit.
They make the portal guns.
They make the portal guns, but they also played around with genetics. They started doing all kinds of other shit. They tried to extend human life. They tried to do all these crazy things, and robotics, which is how you end up with the thing. But with Desk Job, you're hired to be a product tester. So, like, you sit down and all you got to do is push a button that will test the product. Mind you, the first product you test is a toilet. And so you're literally testing the flushability and all this kind of stuff, except that your AI robot buddy, who's your kind of team leader, so to speak, decides to start getting creative and creates his own toilet that has weapons and all this other crazy shit on it. So, like, it turns into that. And the funny thing is, the entire time you play this game, you go through all these different levels and stuff, you never leave the desk. Like, you're basically chained to the desk, and you're supposed to do your job there the whole time, even to the point that, like, years have passed through this game. You're, like, putting suspended animation and stuff. And it's a very short game, mind you. It's only, like, a 20-minute game, because it's a temporary thing. Or a short run thing, just fill the gap while they're working on Portal 3. But the funny thing is, it actually builds out the lore of the Portal universe. I was like, that's pretty fucking cool.
All right, so real quick, do a quick rundown. I have them all written down. I wrote them as we were going.
Okay.
So Shoki's honorable mention was Hitman. My honorable mention was Mario. My 5 was Hitman. His was Mario. We both chose Doom for 4. I chose all Resident Evil live actions for number 3. He chose Afterlife specifically for number 3. I chose Street Fighter the movie. He chose Street Fighter the Chun-Li Legend of Chun-Li movie. He chose Mortal Kombat Annihilation as number 1. I had a tie between Mortal Kombat Annihilation and Prince of Persia. So those are our top 5s. Some of y'all write us in your top 5s. Let's see what y'all can come up with, or see if they're the same or way different.
Yep.
Remember, we didn't do it on purpose, but it did work out that we were doing the live action stuff, because there is a whole crap ton of ones in animation, so we steered clear of those.
Yeah. Well, by incident, yeah. Because I was gonna put
even if it was
Spirits,
accidental,
I was gonna put Final Fantasy Spirits Within in this.
No, that movie's awesome. You're nuts.
But it's not an adaptation of anything, so it's like it's a bad adaptation. So like that's where
it's a continuation of the story. Negative.
Yeah, but it doesn't actually go into any of the Final Fantasy stories. It's its own story without it being a game. So it's a spin-off.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the wrong one. Anyways, you're talking about the one.
You're talking about Advent Children.
That's the one I'm thinking.
Advent Children is amazing
Advent Children
because
is
it's a
awesome.
continuation of Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, you're talking about that CGI.
The Spirits Within was not good,
no.
and the CGI was rough. No,
that was no point.
I would never put fucking Advent Children in a bad list. Come on.
That's why I was like, what are you talking about? That thing was awesome.
And the thing is,
I mixed those up.
And I've seen both the sub and dub version of Advent Children. Definitely prefer the sub, because like some of the voices they chose are a little weird. But either way, it's worth watching. Now, before we move on,
you're a weebo or whatever. I'm all about the dubs.
Yeah, but before we move on, and I will try to include Mike's.
What's the one where they change the voices? That's subs.
Dubs.
No, that's subtitles.
Yeah, dubs. Subtitles. Dubs are dubbing the voice. So
I like dubs.
Yeah. So before we move on, I'm going from this wiki list we have here. I'm going to tell you the top 5 worst rated ones.
Were those rated on theirs?
Because it had a Rotten Tomato and Metacritic scores. So
I didn't pay that much attention to it.
Not to mention, it's got the box office, the release date, who released it, who released the game, the Rotten Tomatoes, and the Metacritic score. So I'm not going to count the first one, because the weird thing about it is I don't know anything about it. And so there is a Tekken, or there was a Tekken movie somewhere. I've never heard of it, never seen it.
Either.
It apparently dropped in 2010. It only made $1 million, so it couldn't have been distributed very far. So that doesn't count. We're just not counting that one. So the worst one hold on, let me go from there up. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, so top 5 worst according to Rotten Tomatoes, and this is just live action. In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege Tale, which is one of the things that which is one of the ones that Jay mentioned.
Brought up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so that has a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 15 out of 100 on Metacritic.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So the next one,
wasn't somebody famous in that too? Like somebody, like
I think so.
There was like a big actor in that one. That was Jason Statham, wasn't it?
I couldn't tell you, but I think so. Sounds right. All right, so here's another one that he mentioned. Blood Rain, right above that, also at 4%, but an 18 out of 100 on Metacritic. So slightly better, not by much.
That was the vampire Nazi one, right?
I believe so. I believe that's what Blood Rain is, yes. But that was also a prequel, not a direct correlation. Right above that, one I'd forgotten about, House of the Dead.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
I remember it, but I never watched it.
I remember watching the Silent Hill movie. I didn't watch that.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that. And that is 3% on Rotten Tomatoes with a 15 out of 100. And by the way, that came from Artisan Entertainment, so not a small studio.
Yeah.
And also In the Name of the King was 20th Century Fox, also not small studio.
Oh my God.
And then just take a wild guess what number 2 is.
Mario.
No. Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Annihilation? I was going to put that as my number 1 guess.
2% on Rotten Tomatoes. And 11 out of 100. And then the number 1, which is one I'd never thought about, or even, I don't think I've even really paid attention to at any given point in my life, Alone in the Dark.
Never saw it, but the fact that they didn't put Prince of Persia up there, they can suck my ding.
Well, it's in the list. It just did better than these things. I mean, that was a 1% on Rotten Tomatoes and 9 out of 100 on Metacritic.
Did Tekken get a 0?
Tekken got a 0, but I don't think it really. But 0 got like no distribution. So how can we can't
Doesn't
really
matter
rank
if it's
it.
on there. Somebody watched it and gave it a fucking 0.
Well, that means nobody ranked it at all, I think, is what it means. Give me a second here. Yeah, I mean, like, there's no... I feel like there's nothing even remotely there. Like, I don't recall that movie ever being released. I mean, it only made $1 million, period. So, I mean, like,
Good Lord.
It couldn't have gone very far in 12 years. And no one that I know of has ever heard of it. Now,
straight to video type thing.
Now, before we leave this conversation, there was a question sent back into us from Jay. And let me bring it up real quick. Which one? He sent several emails this week, so I gotta go through.
Was it about him sucking ass for bad mouth on my fucking podcast?
That comes up, but we'll get into that in the main episode. Okay, so this is directly related to this conversation. So he says Mario and Luigi somehow reset the Dino dimension to the game dimension. So he's talking about what Mario 2 would be. You know, if they ever redid it, like somehow they altered the universe and it changed to the game universe.
I could be down for that.
Maybe, but I think just start over. Like,
don't make it live action.
Yeah,
I think that's a bad one to adapt to.
Yeah, don't adapt that again. Then the other thing was, In the Name of the King was one of his better movies, but still not a good adaptation, which, as we just saw, is true. And that's what we were talking about, that whole conversation with Uwe Boll, or whatever, however you say that guy's name, as a commander. And that was his own production studio, by the way, that made that. So Boll KG Productions made that, or made Blood Rain, I'm sorry. And so, like, he made his own production studio and still couldn't make a good movie. And then he brought up one that would not have made my list, but I have seen, and he wants our thoughts on it. Wing Commander.
I never watched it.
Oh, you never saw that one? That was with Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah, never watched it.
I like that movie. It's not bad. I don't know what it is.
Is that the one? No, that's Sky Commander and the Wings of Tomorrow is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, no, that's a different movie entirely. No, Wing Commander, it's a outer space Top Gun, essentially. For lack of a better way to put it. I like
it already.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's pretty cool. I like the ship designs because they look like old school, like 1940s fighter planes, but like spaceships in the same way. They are fighting an alien species. There are, like, kind of naval battles, like their two warships are like next to each other, shooting at each other like you would see ships doing.
Broadside.
Yeah, there's broadside fighting. It's pretty cool. Like, it's not a great movie, and I do believe what's his face? He was in Scream. Oh, the weird guy played Shaggy in the
Oh
Scooby-Doo
yeah, I know what you're
movies.
talking about.
What's his
Matt.
name? Matt. Yes.
Brain farting. I know what you're
Why?
talking about.
Yeah.
Not Matt LeBlanc, but
No, not that one. Damn, why can't we remember his name? Either way, wait, it's either him or no, it's got to be him because it's not what's his face's son.
Because you go by Matt. It was Matthew.
Matthew.
No, like it starts with an L.
Yes.
Matthew Lillard.
Lillard. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard is in there, and basically it's very similar to Top Gun, but not that. That's just the most approximation I can give you. It's not a bad movie. I don't know where you could watch it, to be totally honest, but it's got to be in a It's got to be in a $5 bin.
Google.
There's a $5 bin somewhere. But no, it's not a bad movie. I enjoyed it. I saw it in the
Google
theater.
it, $5 bin it. Find it on the bay. Fine, I'll find it somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it in the theater. Like, I wasn't huge on Wing Commander, but I played like the early editions of that game, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. You know, one thing that I'm surprised they haven't made yet, and I haven't looked through this list of upcoming movies. If anybody's gonna make a Star Fox movie,
they better fucking not. They'll try to do they'll try to animatronic it, or
no, it would be all
live
CG.
action. No, they won't.
Yeah, it would.
I guarantee fucking to you they'll Sonic the Hedgehog that shit.
Well, there's no humans in that game, so they can't.
Yeah, there's the aliens that you don't know what they look like because they don't show them.
They're all robots.
No, that's what they attack with is robots. But remember the leader of them, you always just saw his silhouette.
Are you talking about the first game, or are you talking about the 64?
I'm only talking about the good one.
You're gonna have to. Star Fox 64 is really good.
Yeah. You know what the mess up thing is? I have the SNES Mini, and it has Star Fox 2 on it, and I never played it.
I tried. It's hard. In comparison. Yeah. Okay, so just real quick, so upcoming supposed movies that should be coming at some point in time. That Far Cry movie is actually on this list, but that was all the way in 2008. How the fuck did we miss that?
I didn't even know they made a movie out of it.
Yeah. Okay.
I've never played any of those games.
Yeah, neither did I. So, okay, so we got Borderlands. I'm not sure how they
made a movie out of Borderlands?
No, these are upcoming.
Oh.
Planned movies.
Okay.
So Borderlands, there's so much to work with there, and they're mostly humans. They could make that work realistically. Untitled Crossfire film. I think that's been in talks for a very long time.
Crossfire, like the fucking game with the marbles?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how that's a video game adaptation. But yeah, there's that. Five Nights at Freddy's. That movie's been in the works for a long time, but because of Scott Cawthon having so many different issues and then selling the rights, I'm not sure.
They said they made something like that with Nick Cage already.
Yes, they did make that for something close. Funland.
Yeah,
but that actually is a pretty good movie. So
never watched it, but I heard it was good.
That's for not a direct adaptation. It's pretty good. It follows the story, well, not closely, but it's very, very similar, and it's pretty fucking cool. I recommend that movie. Untitled Gears of War film. Gears of War could be done fairly well, whether if they don't. Oh my god! With it.
So they're gonna fuck it up, and I'm gonna be so mad, just like they did with the show that I fucking hate so much. Because I literally only own an Xbox for Halo and Gears of War. Everything else I play is PlayStation or old school. And, so they're gonna fuck.
They might fuck it up. I mean, it's from Universal. Supposedly, it's Universal.
Call it right now, The Rock is gonna be in it.
I could see that. Yeah. So okay, so I think that's from Universal. Is what it says here. So Universal is one.
That don't mean
I forgot to mention. Well, I mean, it's a big studio behind it, not a little rinky-dink one.
Yeah, it's a big studio.
And so,
that still makes shit movies.
So, for instance, like the Five Nights at Freddy movies is being made by Blumhouse, which does horror films. So, I mean, like that should be on point, you know. All right, so Ghost of Tsushima. That should be an easy win. That's like it's a fucking period piece.
I want to play that game, and everybody keeps talking about how awesome it is. And I keep forgetting to buy it and play it.
Yeah. Okay. So these ones, I don't know what they're doing here, but okay. So It Takes Two.
Never heard of it.
I don't know what that is. Just Cause, that I've heard of. I've never played the games, but I've heard of them.
There's like 3 or 4 of those games.
Yeah, there are. I keep getting notifications. I don't know what it is. Then there's what are they left? Just Dance. That's just retarded. I mean,
oh my god.
Minecraft movie, which has been in the works for a long time.
I've never played that one.
Oh, Minecraft is fun.
That. Yeah, no.
I don't know what they're gonna do with it without making it a blocky animated thing.
It's gonna have to be that. It's gonna be an animated.
It has to be. But the funny thing is, and a lot of people don't. If you don't get into it, there's a fuckload of actual hidden story in Minecraft. It's not just building shit out of blocks and just a basic survival game.
Don't care. It's trash.
Nah. I mean, if you go through the lore of it, there is some cool story stuff there. But the thing is, they just give it to you outside of playing it through the game when there isn't technically part of the game. It's going to be weird to introduce lore in the movie that the game doesn't bother to give you or spoon feed you, you know? Untitled Metal Gear Solid film. God knows how long that's been in the work.
Up too.
Mortal Kombat 2, which we expect that, you know, that they would do a sequel. They set up a sequel, they'll do a sequel. Oh, that's funny. I mentioned it. Untitled Portal film. They should just call it Aperture. Don't even call it Portal. Call it Aperture and just start way back when and eventually end up with them making a Portal gun. Untitled Rabbids film. That's just going to be like Minions.
Love the Rabbids.
That's just going to be a Minions movie. By the way, I heard the new Minions movie is not doing well.
Yeah, my kid saw it, said it was okay.
Yeah. I liked Minions. The original Minions movie, I actually thoroughly enjoyed. Okay, so
I don't thoroughly enjoy them, but as far as being an adult, having to watch kids movies with my kids, they were enjoyable.
Yeah. Sonic 3, we know that's coming. We're not worried about that. Space Invaders. I think that was going to be. I remember something about that. Oh, maybe I'm thinking about
Pixels.
Oh, Pixels. That was like basically it. By the way, Pixels is not on this list at all that I saw.
That's because it's not really a video game adaptation. Because
I mean, is it not? It's an adaptation of video game movies.
But it's like of every video game.
I know, that's why it's great, actually.
Yeah,
but okay, right. So but the thing is, something that is on this list, counted as a video game movie, technically speaking, is Ready Player One. But it's not based on a video game. It is a video game.
It's based on a book. It's not a video game.
But it is a video game.
True.
So that's the weird part. Streets of Rage, that could be a fun one. Just a beat 'em up action.
Not if you've ever seen. Oh, the one that almost made my like I was so close to tying so many on my list.
Yeah.
And like Street Fighter was gonna tie with the Double Dragon movie.
I almost put Double Dragon, but I couldn't remember if I saw it. It was so long ago.
It was rough. I just remember I had the kid from Party of Five in it, and it was rough.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was rough.
This I didn't know. Oh, you know what?
Streets of Rage will just be that.
So I've never seen the new Tomb Raider movies. Or movie, I should say.
The new one is. Did you play the new games?
No, once again, no PlayStation, so I've not gotten to play any of these things.
Well, you better get a fucking PlayStation, you shithead.
Dude, I don't even play my fucking Xbox. That's the problem. I'm not gonna spend $400 to fucking not play games.
Get a PS4, you don't have to spend $400.
Just depends.
But yeah, the new games were fucking awesome. I like them better.
Oh, I heard the new games were fantastic. So this
movie was almost a dead ringer to those games.
And Alicia Vikander. Or somebody?
I don't know who. Yeah, I don't know who she is.
Is it the same actress?
I guess.
Oh wait, no, it's a different. No, I'm sorry, it's a different person. Either way, but no, they have another. They have another one coming.
That would make my good adaptation. Yeah. That one and like the what you call it that we talked about, Assassin's Creed. Those would make my good list.
So apparently there is a sequel coming, another one called Tomb Raider Obsidian, supposedly.
Okay.
There's an untitled Saints Row film, which
never
that could be done.
It.
That could be done easy.
Never played it. It's too much of a GTA type thing. That's not my style.
Yeah, but there's a whole lot of shit in the background of that. A whole lot of sci-fi weird shit going on with Saints Row, so it's way outside of normal GTA. But like GTA, you could adapt those into movies real easy, but nobody does. Untitled Yakuza film. I mean that.
I never played the Yakuza games, but yeah, just Yakuza could be anything.
Yeah,
it didn't even have to be game based. They'd just be using the names of the characters.
Yeah. And then something that has been in the talks since the 90s, Duke Nukem. So
I was never a Duke Nukem fan,
I mean, it's just
but
it's just a raunchy version of
you know what
Doom.
I'd love to see a movie out of
Hmm.
would be Destroy All Humans.
Oh, that'd be
It'd be like
interesting.
along the lines of like a Mars Attacks type movie, but Destroy All Humans. That
Yeah.
should be awesome. I used to
I
love that game.
I want an extreme parodied version of Plants vs Zombies.
Never played it.
Oh, that's just a silly mobile game, but I would love to
Yeah.
see a weird, like how they make a real story out of that, even though it's just a goofy tower defense game. Basically, try to make a
It'd
movie.
be like Day of the Triffids versus Dawn of the Dead.
Exactly. Okay, so I do think we should do a top 5 good game adaptations later on, because going through this list, especially through the animated ones,
Mm-hmm.
there's a buttload, especially the CG
Most of the
ones.
good ones are going to be animated because
True.
that's where it shines at, because it transfers from video game to cartoon better than it does cartoon to live action.
Yeah.
Or video to live
Oh, I
action.
do love that it does have the untitled Mario film on that list as upcoming. So we'll come back later and do that, but for now we got an actual podcast to film. So this is just this nice little top 5 list from
That took us an hour.
It took us an hour. Well, that's one reason why this is a bonus. So it's actually a long bonus for once. All right.
Okay.
All right, guys. So Mike has joined us much later in the day, but now Ricky is gone. So this is how funny life gets. So Mike's going to do his top 5 plus dishonorable mention worst video game movie adaptations. So start with your dishonorable mention, Mike.
Okay. So my dishonorable mention. Oh boy, and there's so many. But okay, I'm gonna have to go DOA,
Nice.
Dead or Alive.
Nice, yes.
For my honorable mention.
No,
my God,
I thought about that one originally, but
Yeah.
I couldn't recall if I actually watched the movie or not.
I did, and
there wasn't enough beach volleyball in it, was there?
No. Well, I mean,
they did.
That's
try
what
to
I was
make
hoping for.
Yeah, I do. I recall the movie, but I don't think I've watched it. Does that make sense?
I mean, it was like at one point it was as popular as like Tekken or Street Fighter, and although it might be for other reasons than just a good fight mechanics.
Yeah.
For the game.
Oh yeah. But it was the jiggle physics everybody wanted the game for.
Well, yeah, exactly right.
Let's just be honest here.
The story was just horrible.
Of the movie, yeah.
Yeah, just so bad.
Also, I grabbed myself another drink while I was.
Oh, good, nothing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Whoa.
so number 5.
Number 5.
Okay, number 5. I almost feel bad putting this at number 5 because maybe it should be higher, but Super Mario Brothers.
Yep.
Back in 93.
So that was my number 5.
It was your number 5. Okay.
Yep. And it was
so
here's what I'm going to do. So as you give your list, if you have one that we had, I will tell you where it was on the ranks.
All right,
so Super Mario was my number 5.
Yeah.
And Ricky's dishonorable mention.
I mean King Koopa, as portrayed by Dennis Hopper. Oh boy.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Oh my God, it was so horrible.
But it's still fun. It's not good,
and that's why it's fun. Exactly. That's why it's like number 5 and not higher, right? Only because it was like, for the time,
it's the first one. It is literally the first one.
Exactly. Right. John Leguizamo, Bob Hoskins,
the
late Bob Hoskins.
Sadly.
But yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that would be my number 5.
Okay.
All right.
So cool. We're tied there. We're good there.
Number 4. I'm gonna have to say, oh boy, and this is almost a tie with my number 3, but I'm gonna say Doom.
It's like you watched our lists.
Really?
That was me and Ricky's number 4.
Oh my God. Okay.
So right now we're realizing it's universal how bad these movies are. So far, we're dead on.
It is.
We are dead on. Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
It's like this is almost like nothing like the game.
Okay, so Ricky and I had 2 that were flipped. Like we had the same 2, but they were flipped. So like Doom and that were there. So okay, continue. So definitely Doom. So but we did talk positively about it. It had some good aspects, but they did not replicate the game
No.
story.
No, exactly, right? Like in the video game, you have like, demons that spawn from hell, basically, right?
Yeah,
In the movie, they're like genetically enhanced humanoids. It's like, oh God, please.
Well, it's
no.
like a what was it? It's supposed to be like a retrovirus that ends up like pushing something to its maximum evolution,
or
something like that. And generally, it was evil.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
It was like so bad. It's like pushing out of my mind
Yeah.
the whole plot, right? It was like that bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Though I will say the one cool sci-fi aspect to it, I thought, was how they got to Mars when they found the portal thingy it was like that ball of liquid stuff, and they went into it and shot them to Mars. That was a cool sci-fi aspect. Like, it was a strange portal that they dug up, had no idea what it did, and then they went, oh, hey, it goes to a place in Mars.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I feel bad for the first person who went through it, not knowing where it was going. It's not like Stargate, where they send the probe first,
Yeah.
Send the very expensive probe that we made for this thing and just lose half of them. The probe budget of the Stargate program was ridiculous.
Jeez.
All right, so that's funny. All right, number 3.
Okay, so number 3. I'm gonna admit, like, at first I liked it only because I didn't play the game, but then when I played the game, it's like, okay, this movie's like dog shit. Wing Commander.
Oh, that's so funny that you brought that up. Okay. So we were asked by a write-in about Wing Commander, and I actually talked about how cool the movie was, even though it was very different from the game.
It was like pretty bland and like,
but I mean, it was still
one-dimensional characters. Movie. It was decent.
I called it Top Gun in space.
It's kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
And you don't even really see the bad guys all that much. Not a lot.
Not a lot, no. Not the aliens. You don't really
but I mean,
see
I wanted more. So, and I mean, these guys were like, what was it like? These actors were
considering
like,
it was the 90s, I mean, it was Freddie Prinze Jr., Matthew Lillard, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was him.
Yeah.
Not what's his face's son. I think it was Matthew Lillard. But
it's almost like Melrose Place in space.
Kind of, but I mean, like
Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew
Lillard, whatever. But yeah, no, I liked it because like the CG was actually pretty decent for its time. Like, I mean, for the mid 90s, really decent. I mean, yeah, you're right about the story and the one-dimensional characters essentially, but it's a space battle thing. But like I talked about the one part near, I guess, quote unquote, near the end with the ship battles where they're literally like broadside and they launch all their fucking missiles at the enemy ship. I was like, I actually dug that. Like, and I saw this in theaters when I was a kid.
Right.
So like, I only played like the first game, I believe, on our old Mac. Like way back when. So like, it's not like the game mattered story wise,
no,
it's like,
not really.
It was just fly around, blow stuff up game. So I mean,
oh man,
at least in that aspect, I was fun. And it's like, I enjoyed it for what it was. Now, if I watched it now, it's probably dog shit. But I mean, like, it's not.
Well, like I said, at the time, it was okay. Yeah. It was pretty cool when I saw it. Right?
Don't compare it to anything, and it's fine.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
Standing on its own legs. But it is funny that you put something that neither, like, because Ricky never saw it, and then I actually liked it, so I couldn't put it on the list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what am I at now?
2.
Number 2. Okay. Number 2. Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
That's our number 1.
That's your number 1?
So you have something worse than Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Okay, so it was my number 1, and it was tied for number 1 with Ricky's. But I won't tell you what the other one was.
Okay.
And for everybody who's listening to this in the playback.
Because I kind of have a tie for number 1. That's
okay. So if you have two for number 1, that works with Ricky. So it'll be funny if you repeat.
Okay.
His.
So we
talked about it in the link. So go ahead with your number 1 tie.
So my number 1 tie. Okay. It's either gonna be Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li.
Okay, and what's the other one?
Or Alone in the Dark.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay. All right. Okay. So
because damn,
let me
both of these are just so bad.
So let me tell you. Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li was my number 2. Only Annihilation was worse.
Okay. Yeah.
And Alone in the Dark was one of the lowest rated ones, period, in the list whenever I went through it. Now, I never saw it, never played the game, never saw the movie. So it's funny that your number 1, I think, was the lowest rated one, other than Tekken, which had no rating.
that Tara Reid's performance was
Oh,
just
it's a
so
Tara Reid movie.
bad.
Oh god.
Oh god. It makes me want to shoot my face in the face. You know, it's
So-
like that bad.
Okay, so now that your list is done, I'll let you talk about that a little bit more. So here's the funny thing. So
Okay.
Ricky and I had Super Mario Brothers and something else flipped. We both had Doom.
All right.
We both
Right.
had Doom. My number
Right.
3 was Resident Evil Afterlife, specifically. His number
Okay.
3 was all Resident Evil movies. My number 2 was Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li. His number
Right.
2 was Street Fighter, like just in general. He had never seen Chun-Li, and I told him it's way worse. It's a way
it's
worse
worse.
movie.
It's so
much worse. And then we
Yeah.
both had Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but he had it was 2 hours ago, real time. So I was like, what was his other first one? You guys will hear it later in the playback because I don't think it wasn't Street Fighter. It was something else.
I don't know, like Blood Rain or
No,
or
damn it.
Hitman
I hate that I can't remember it off the top of my head. Oh, we did talk about Hitman. Hitman was
Street Fighter, Max Payne.
because he already said that. Damn it, I can't remember what his tie was. It's fine. I'll look it up later in the re-listen. So either way,
guaranteed there are like some bad movies, but
yeah, there are some really bad ones. But it also let us now going through the list. There's a lot of good ones that we forgot about. So like,
oh yeah,
we're gonna
like
do
good bad ones or just good.
No, just good ones,
ones.
like actual
Okay.
good video game movies. So like, and even ones that I completely forgot about. People like to talk about Sonic, but do I still have it open? I might still have the list open, or did I close it? Okay, I still have it open. So like, let's see here. Okay. Okay, so I'm still by rating. So yeah, Alone in the Dark is the lowest rated video game movie, period.
Oh yeah, it's
Okay.
just,
What was the other one? Okay, I gotta scroll down. Oh, Detective Pikachu. So Detective Pikachu is actually a really good movie.
It is a good movie.
And it's really good based on the video game itself.
Yeah,
Like, it goes
it
off script a little, but it's still really good. And I completely forgot about that movie, and it was so good. So like, we're gonna do a top 5 good video game movie adaptations down the line. But because you weren't here, one of our suggestions for a top 5 was actually top 5 movie to video game adaptations. So and not bad, just in general. So we're gonna be doing that one later as well, because that is a hard one, because there's not a whole there's a lot that got adapted that have been adapted in different ways to different platforms. So for reference, the Jurassic Park video game was very different from Sega to Super Nintendo. Completely different games, both based on Jurassic Park, and both with their different levels of goodness or badness. So that's going to be an interesting discussion. But either way, at least for this top 5 discussion, this is a lot of fun. No, I can't. I'm sitting there scrolling through the list trying to find the other one that Ricky said. And
see, because I didn't really mind the Resident Evil movies.
Well, that's why I specifically said the one.
Sure, later on they got a little bit, kind of corny.
But that's why I specifically said the one I did, because that was the worst one I've seen.
Yeah.
Because he didn't say, because we both said Street Fighter at the same thing. We both said Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but what was the other one? He's pretty much gone already, so I can't.
I don't know. Assassin's
hit him
Creed?
up.
Or...
No, he actually liked the Assassin's Creed movie, surprisingly. Oh, Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia was his hated.
Sands of Time.
Yes, so that's the one he said was his most hated. So, but it was tied with Annihilation. So yeah, that makes sense.
I gotta rewatch that again.
And guys,
I
just
think I made it through the movie.
Yeah, and guys, just adding this in here at the end, the most profitable video game movie of all time so far was Warcraft, with $439 million. Yeah, so very interesting to see that. Detective Pikachu's like right behind it, though. That's the crazy part. So it's literally Warcraft at 439, Detective Pikachu at 433, and Warcraft came out 2 years before Detective Pikachu.
True,
but then Rampage is right behind that, and that movie was also. If I'd seen it, it would be on my list. I'm sure
that it wasn't too good.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and by the way, this is and those are. Well, Detective Pikachu is very highly ranked, and Warcraft is very lowly ranked. So it's pretty funny that it could make so much money and literally be garbage. So
yeah.
So that's the actual end to this conversation, even though Ricky and I will have a ending thing directly after this. So Mike just has to add a bye. So, guys, thanks for listening. Make sure you watch or listen to the regular episode, not just this top 5. And please hit the subscribe thingy or the follow or whatever, and rate us wherever it is you are listening to us, because that matters.
And turn on your bell notifications if you're using YouTube, so that way you can get updated when we put out new ones.
That too. And of course, go subscribe to all of our stuff, whether it's mine, Ricky, or Mike's stuff. Just come and hang out and check out our other shit. So,
Bunch of links below.
Yep. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
There we go.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.